Hey, come on, lean in a little closer. I want to tell you something. Today, we are pulling back the curtain on one of humanity's oldest and, let's be honest, most controversial pastimes: gossip. Ah, that question. We've all asked it, and we've all been asked it, right? It's like the spark that lights this little fire of hushed tones and shared secrets. But what's it really all about? Well, let's find out. So before we dive into all the juicy details, let's just make sure we're all on the same page here. What exactly is the official definition of gossip? There it is. Short, simple, and to the point. It's just talk about the personal lives of other people. And you'll notice it can be a noun, the actual rumor, and it can be a verb, the act of spreading it. It's a really fundamental part of how we communicate. Okay, but here's where things get, well, kind of complicated. We have this deep, totally fascinating contradiction when it comes to talking about other people. I mean, you look across different cultures and religions, and the message is often incredibly clear and pretty severe. Gossip is seen as this serious moral failing, something you should avoid at all costs. And that right there, that's the paradox, isn't it? Despite all the warnings, the moral codes, the social no-nos, we all seem to do it. I mean, from the coffee shop to the corporate office, those whispers are just everywhere. Which brings us to the big question. If it's so bad, then why is it so irresistible? Well, as it turns out, psychology has a few different theories for why we just can't seem to stop talking about each other. Let's really dig into the psychology behind it all. We're going to explore a couple of theories that try to explain why we just can't seem to help ourselves. So, this first theory is probably one you've heard before, and let's just say it's not exactly a flattering picture of someone who gossips. The idea here is that gossip is basically just a way to fill a void. That when our own lives are maybe a little dull, we kind of borrow excitement from someone else's life. It's not just boredom. It's seen as a sign that maybe you don't have enough going on yourself. But there's another theory that flips that whole idea completely on its head. It asks a pretty interesting question. What if being talked about isn't always a bad thing? See, this theory suggests that being the subject of gossip could actually be a sign of your social status. It means you matter, your actions are interesting enough for other people to discuss. In this view, silence isn't golden, it's just plain boring. Now, before we get too comfortable with either of those theories, here's a classic piece of advice, a real practical warning. This is that crucial reminder about trust, right? It suggests that gossiping isn't just a one-time thing, it's a character trait. So yeah, it's complicated. And to really get a handle on it, it helps to be specific with our words, because not all talk about other people is exactly the same thing. Let's build ourselves a quick vocabulary guide. All right, you ready? We're going to do a little quick fire round. I'm going to throw out a few key terms and we'll nail down exactly what they mean. Let's go. First up, rumor. The absolute key thing to remember here is that it's unverified information. Knowing the difference between a rumor and a fact is like step one in stopping misinformation from spreading. Next, scandal. Okay, this one is specific. It's the big conversational explosion that happens after an embarrassing event. So it's more of a reaction, not just random chatter. And finally, criticism. Now this is different because its main focus is negative judgment. Knowing this helps us spot when a conversation stops being just an observation and turns into, well, an attack. Okay, so we've got our definitions, we've explored the theories, now let's bring it all home. It's time to turn the lens away from the act of gossip and maybe onto ourselves. I love this quote. It basically lays out 3 types of people in any conversation. It suggests that our choice of topic actually says a whole lot more about us than about anyone else. So let's break down who these people are. So on one side, you've got the gossip, right? Their focus is always external, always on other people. Then on the other side, you have the bore. Their focus is completely internal. It's always about them. Both of them are, in their own way, having a pretty one-sided conversation. And then there's the third option, the brilliant conversationalist. And their secret? It's so simple, but it's so powerful. They make the other person the subject. They're genuinely interested, they ask questions, they actually listen. They talk about you. When you think about it, every single time we open our mouths to speak, we're kind of standing at a crossroads. We're making a choice about where we're going to direct the conversation's energy. Outwards, towards others, inwards, toward ourselves, or across, to the person who's right there in front of us.
So the next time you're at that coffee shop or in that meeting or just on the phone, which role are you going to play? The gossip, the bore, or the brilliant conversationalist? The choice, as always, is yours.